Okay, we're gonna try it one more time with YouTube. Um, okay, your name is Ron Anderson. You're from Hesperia. Tell me when you, Hesperia, Michigan, and that's on the west side of the state. Tell me when you were born again. 1923?
March the 14th, 1923.
So that makes you 86 right now.
That's right, 86.
Okay, you got a job in Bay City at Autolite. Tell me about Autolite during what the early 40s. It was converted into a defense plant.
Yes. I had been working at Zenith Radio in Chicago, and they sent three of us up to Bay City to the Autolite plant to hopefully learn something about building an automatic pilot that Zenith was going to build later. But when we got there, the project was not very well underway, and we eventually did build the frame for an automatic pilot. And in the time that I was there, I don't think there was maybe just 50 or 60 of them shipped. And I had been placed on deferment by the company, who was unaware of it at the time, but eventually learned of it and decided that I wasn't particularly valuable to that plant, so I wasn't doing anything critical, and I felt that I should be a part of the war effort. So I quit the job, and within a week, I got notice to report for service in the Army.
And you went to Sacramento for your training.
Yeah, I went to Sacramento, California, to Camp Kohler, which is located probably 5 or 10 miles outside of Sacramento, California. We took our basic training there, and our technical training we took at Davis College, located in Sacramento.
Camp Kohler, that would be Kohler.
Right.
In Davis College, you took electricity courses and
Basic electricity, yes, or electronics.
How long were you at Davis College?
I would guess about 3 months.
And from there, you shipped out?
Yes, we shipped out, and I spent 19 days on a converted freighter that took us to Hollandia, New Guinea.
New Guinea. Give me a rough idea. New Guinea's in the South Pacific, right?
Right.
And it was one of the major fronts for the Japanese side of World War II.
Well, I think New Guinea was essentially a place to do additional training. There were some Japanese on the island, but I don't think there was a great deal of fighting on the island of New Guinea itself.
No, on New Guinea, tell me about the role that you played.
Well, we set up a radio facility there, both transmitters and receivers, and I was in charge of the transmitter part. We had probably 17 or 18,000 watt transmitters and maybe one 5,000 watt transmitter. And it was my job to keep those running. Now, I wasn't aware of what kind of messages went over them because we didn't hear or understand anything at all as far as the code went. But they were all continuous wave transmitters sending basically what's known as Morse code. And later on, we got one transmitter that was converted to radio teletype using the pressed wireless radio teletype equipment.
Now, back in those days, radio equipment had lots of tubes, right?
Oh, it was all tube, yes. That was long before the transistor arrived on the scene.
Well, and tell me about life in New Guinea. How many guys were you with in your group? And tell me the identity of your group, which you were in a signal division, right?
Yeah, I was in the Army Signal Corps, and it was the 986th Signal Service Division, or Signal Service Company, rather. And there were approximately 300 in our company. And we were located near Hollandia, and within another half a mile or mile from us was another company of an entirely different operation. I don't know what they were involved in.
Um, did you travel around the island at all?
No, I did travel a little bit, but not much.
Um,
We had one Jeep that was accessible to us, but I didn't get much of an opportunity to use it. I do remember that we had to drive on the wrong side of the road.
well, what was Army food back like then? I remember, during the Vietnam days, what it was like.
Well, the bulk of our Army food came from Australia. It was what they called bully beef. It was a canned, chopped beef that the cook couldn't do very much to spoil. We learned to get along on that. We had quite a few vegetables, of course, canned again, and on very rare occasions we would get chicken or turkey for some special occasions, and invariably the entire company got sick as a result of it.
Then you were 22, 23 at the time, right?
Approximately that age, yes.
And you had a young wife at home.
Yep.
How old was she?
Well, she was 19 when we were married. So at that time, she might have been 20 or 21.
So it was guys your age who were fighting this major world war.
Well, my age and our company, there were people all the way between my age and I think maybe 45 was the oldest person I knew of.
What was the highest ranking command officer that you had direct contact with at New Guinea?
Well, the leader of our group was Captain Drazen, and under him there were basically lieutenants, first and second lieutenants.
Now, from New Guinea, you shipped out to the Philippines.
That's right. We went from New Guinea up to the island of Cebu and the city of Cebu in the Philippines.
What do you remember about the Philippines? Didn't shovel any snow there.
How was that?
You didn't shovel any snow there.
No, we didn't shovel any snow in the Philippines. We set up a transmitter site there that was in a former laundry. I think it was one of the only buildings that I knew that survived the bombing, because the city of Cebu, which had probably more than 1 million people in it during peacetime, was literally gone. There had been a cement plant on the island, and they made an awful lot of steps, because apparently every house in the city had cement steps. And when we got there, you could look in any direction for as far as you could see, and there was nothing but cement steps. All the houses were gone.
No, is this where you had the rhombic antenna, the big one?
Yeah.
Describe that.
Rhombic antenna was on poles and extend probably 1/4 of a mile long. It made a double V, starting at the center about 2 feet apart, and then would spread out to maybe 300 feet, and the entire antenna would be maybe 1/4 of a mile long. And they were highly directional, and they're also very, very wide band, which means we could send a wide band of frequencies, and it didn't require any tuning. We had to change frequency quite frequently during the 24-hour periods, because the atmospherics were such that what frequencies would work in the daytime didn't work at night, and the other way around.
Now, when you were in the Philippines, did you travel outside of Cebu at all?
Well, actually, no. I never got out much outside of our camp. We did. I recall one time going to a private home in the Philippines. We visited the home of a former Army officer that used to be in that area, but